Having understood what is infrastructure, now move on to the characteristics of infrastructure, which have in a sense influenced how infrastructure is developed. Broadly, I would say there are three important characteristics of infrastructure which we need to keep in mind, which have in a very significant way influenced the way in which infrastructure was developed or has traditionally been developed. Firstly, infrastructure, as we already said, being capital intensive, requires high investment costs, but as more and more output is generated from that infrastructure, the additionality of costs, or can we say the marginal costs, keep going down, and therefore the overall average cost of delivery. So the average cost would be first the upfront cost plus the marginal cost divided by what the actual output is. That would keep decreasing as we keep on increasing the output of that infrastructure. In fact, this happens in a way that the output can keep on increasing until the total demand in that society. So if that happens, then the natural implication is that it is best from a cost point of view that we have one organization that is responsible for the entire output which the society demands, and therefore we have an implicit scale economy. Very often associated with scale economies, infrastructure also demonstrates scope economies. Let's take the example of the power sector. So power sector, well, because of the high investments, the transmission requirements, final distribution requirements, there are scale economies. The same entity doing more and more of power typically can bring down the average cost. But it's not only just decreasing the average cost, which is what we mean as economies of scale. There are also implicit scope economies. Generation is one activity for power, transmission is the other, and the third is distribution. All of them are in a sense technologically connected with the idea that you are moving electrons, you are generating electrons that actually create electricity, and you are moving them from the point of generation all the way to their final point of consumption in any particular appliance. Since there is this technological connect, the same organization doing all the activities could have certain scope economies. So in such a context, often we have a large organization vested with the responsibility of delivering power. So this is what we call as a natural monopoly. So scale economies and of course scope economies in certain contexts together lead to natural monopolies. In general, when there is a natural monopoly, we must have a regulator.